Yeah, Baba.
Let's start. Yeah.
Avar Meher Baba ki jai. Um, Chokji, why don't you start with how to love God?
Yeah. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. How to love God. To love God in the most practical way is to love our fellow beings. If we feel for others in the same way as we feel for our dear ones, we love God. One, if instead of seeing faults in others, we look within ourselves, we are loving God. Two, if instead of robbing others to help ourselves, we rob ourselves to help others, we are loving God. Three, if we suffer in the suffering of others and feel happy in the happiness of others, we are loving God. Four, if instead of worrying over our own misfortunes, we think of ourselves more fortunate than many, many others, we are loving God. 5. If we endure our Lord with patience and contentment, accepting it as His will, we are loving God. 6. If we understand and feel that the greatest act of devotion and worship to God is not to hurt or harm any of His beings, we are loving God. 7. To love God as He ought to be loved, we must live for God and die for God, knowing that the goal of all life is to love God and to and find Him as our own self. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Ki jai. Thank you so much, and hope you feel better soon.
Thank you, Karthik.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
Jai Baba,
not easy.
can I read?
Yeah, yeah, you can. But we are going to start with something interesting. We're going to start with
Sure.
something that was shared, and maybe some of you might have missed it. So, this is a Tagore's poem that was mentioned in the last week when we were reading by Sanjay ji. So, this is shared by him. Why don't you start by reading that and then we go to the book?
Sure. Jai Baba. My desires are many and my cry is pitiful, but every didst thou save me. I'll read again. My desires and many, my desires are many and my cry is pitiful, but ever didst thou save me by hard refusals. And this strong mercy has been wrought into my life through and through. Day by day, thou art making me worthy of the simple, great gifts that thou givest to me unasked. The sky and the light, this body and the life and the mind, saving me from perils of overmuch desire. There are times when I languidly linger, and times when I awaken and hurry in search of my goal. But cruelly thou hidest thyself from me before. Day by day thou art making me worthy of the full acceptance by refusing me even an anon, saving me from perils of weak, uncertain desire. Jai Baba.
Yeah, Baba. I think I just reread the last one. Day by day, I messed up too. Day by day, thou art making me worthy of thy full acceptance by refusing me ever and anon. So by actually refusing, you're making me worthy, saving me from perils of weak, uncertain desire. So, but
So
at the same time, he starts with the
thanking
strong
him
mercy.
for, yeah, He's
Yeah,
thanking him and not
yeah.
fulfilling
It's a
his
very
desire.
beautiful
Even
one.
the first sentence says the same message.
Yeah. So it's a very nice.
You know, I just
It,
got
It's so
yes,
relevant to all of us.
absolutely.
Go ahead.
yes,
You're
Jai
saying
Baba.
something.
It's a beautiful, uh, you know, rendering of gratitude for all what we have.
It's so
Yeah,
much
and
relevant to
Tagore,
all of our lives with Baba. Yes.
Tagore was asked about Baba, and he said he is the Thakur. In Bengali, the Thakur is
It's God.
synonymous with God. Yeah, Jai Baba.
It's God. Yes. I was not aware of that interaction. That's interesting. Thakur was what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa also used to refer to God as. Thakur can be female, can be male, but basically Thakur is God.
Yes,
Okay.
Thakur, God in Bengali.
Aapki Bangla jani. Correct.
And so surprisingly and beautifully, even in Gujarat,
Mhm.
the Krishna idols are called Thakurji,
Yes, correct. Yeah, I never thought of that
in Dwarka
coincidence.
and that
Yes.
area. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Over to you, Norm. We are reading in from page 122, volume 3. Yeah, Bob. We are
Jai
reading
Baba.
for the 48th session today.
Jai Baba. For example, let us repeat that before God there was God, and before that there was God, and before that there was God. Or repeat that after God is God, and after that God is, and after that God is. All this would convey nothing to the imagination. This is why knowledge is said to be even beyond the reach of rishis and munis. Hafiz also advises against the futility of trying to catch the falcon of knowledge when he says that nothing but emptiness can ever come into the net of imagination. Thus, the most powerful mind in imagination is entirely helpless against knowledge, because it comes only after all power of imagination is completely and absolutely exhausted. Uh, you'll move the page, Karthik. Thus, the most mm, a little higher
Exhausted and ended.
power of imagination is completely and absolutely exhausted and ended. For imagination to go, mind must go. And for knowledge to come, consciousness must remain. Only when the mind disappears does consciousness become freed of all imaginary this and that, and I and you. The moment consciousness is freed from all imagination, this consciousness of nothing is all at once transformed into the knowledge of everything, that is, dhyan. Vedanta and Sufism cannot reach or explain knowledge. One may try to imagine a shoreless ocean with numberless drops and think out in various terms of comparison and contrast. But just as no beginning, no end will always, Kartik, Jai Baba Kartik, you move the page.
Yeah. Is this just me or you?
It's Eula. If that is
Okay.
so, If that is so, and if I was a listener among you, I would have asked, then why all this headache over explaining a thing which can neither be explained nor understood? The fact is that when you come in contact with a perfect master and he starts explaining, that amounts to your being put on the spiritual path. Therefore, If I am the master and I am that, then even this headache will prove a heart filler. So let this be continued. Threshold of fiery fear, free life. A
No, no,
man,
that's just the chapter title. Yeah.
yeah. A man, a woman, or a child neither acquires nor has any need to acquire the knowledge of one's individual existence from sources outside existence itself. Similarly, when one gets dhyan, one not only feels oneself in everyone and in everything, but one then actually lives the free life of God. This knowledge can come even at the moment when one is attending to a call of nature, as has actually happened in certain cases, including that of Upasani Maharaj. This is because a master can give knowledge any moment instantaneously, provided there is a sufficient deep and strong connection with him, or if there is complete surrender to his will. The fact is that God alone is real and everything is in God. We all are one with Him, but owing to our ignorance, we feel ourselves separate from God. We always were. What was before us? We. Before we. Only when we get knowledge do we know what this being means. This instantly, everything is absolutely clear in the twinkling of an eye. But such a flash of being is even quicker than the twinkling of an eye. The question may yet be asked as to why the master should not then impart knowledge to all individuals instead of giving knowledge to some and not to others. This is a question of divine law. It is not because of the master's incapacity to give it to all, but because of the incapacity of one and all to receive knowledge. The latter incapacity is due to the lack of a sufficiently deep and strong connection with the Master, or for want of complete surrender to his will, or on account of absence of the required degree of preparedness on the part of the individual concerned. Baba concluded, this is all about dhyan, which implies union with God. As for myself, I say, love for God is the best avenue to real knowledge, for God alone is worthy of love. After the completion of this discourse, Baba actually remarked, God is so kind that it is impossible to imagine his unbounded kindness. Some think that although they have suffered a lot, God still does not show his grace on them. But the fact is, the necessary longing is lacking. Baba here quoted a couplet of Hafiz, which, when translated into English, means, with one end of the string in my hand and the other end in the friend's, this tug of war has been going on for years on this point. What a strange game of pulling and being pulled. Before you want to, should we read the, yeah. Yak sare moe basti mano yak sare ba dos salah bar sare in nukta kash kasha daram. Apologies if I read it wrongly.
Yeah. All, yes. Right.
What a
Put in the
strange,
back, yeah.
yeah. Uh, Before leaving for lunch, Baba told us that the next day, November 2nd, he would grant personal interviews to all and added, I will do this for my own work and not for giving a hearing to individuals, crying and weeping over personal difficulties. They are there, no doubt, but it is equally true that they have been there more or less all the time. The fact is that when one dies, one has to leave everything there and then, done or undone, important or unimportant. What a joke. With reference to his silence, he gestured, "Do you know how fed up I am with my silence? I long for the moment when I shall break it and give the world to the word, give the word to the world. You all put your grievances to me, but who will hear mine? You say, Baba, you have anubhav, experience of the infinite trio nature of God, but then my grievances and complaints are also infinite." Then he changed the subject and, with a shine in his eyes, ended the morning session with the following words: "Remember, besides God, all else is illusion. God is the one who alone is real. All are in him. Everyone has to experience this. This is it is for this that one has to pass through innumerable experiences of opposites, pain and pleasure, rich and poor, strong and weak, etc. The God man helps all to achieve this goal. That is why I have to come again and again and experience infinite bliss, maja, and suffering, saja, simultaneously. I wonder how he would, with his hands, say maja and saja, and that was in Hindi in between what he was saying in English. I'm still thinking.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
Divine vacuum
Just
precedes
three
God
of eyes.
realization. A
that's a
little
Chanji.
A little afternoon I heard a bell ringing, which reminded me of school. But, thank Baba, it was a call for lunch. The food was plain and simple: rice, dal, chapati, and one vegetable. But it was very delicious. Baba returned to the hall at about 3 p.m. He told us that from November 15th, for 2 months at least, 25 people would be with him when he visited Hamirpur, Andhra, and other places for the darshan program of the fairy life. He explained that the fairy life was different from the new life. However, implicit obedience to his orders was a common factor in each. He wanted men who could even lay their lives down to obey his orders. The women mandali were not to be with him during these tours. He, in order to avoid confusion during the day-to-day matters in these tours of fairy life, Baba allotted specific duties to the mandali as follows. Number one, Irish to be Baba's personal assistant, Chagan to help Irij. Number two, Vishnu to be responsible for all payments. Three, Pendu assisted by Ali Akbar, Aloba, to make the necessary arrangements for transport by road and rail. 4. Sadashiv Patel, assisted by Save Kotwal, to look after food and shelter for the party. 5. Baidul to proceed in advance when necessary to facilitate must contacts. 6. Giridhar to keep an eye
Gadekar.
on Gadekar to keep an eye on medical assistance and requirements. Baba asked Anna 104 to be on night watch duty, all collectively to keep themselves as far as practical and possible near Baba so as to remain at his beck and call at all times. What a beautiful, teaching for leaders. See how
Yes,
clear he is. Everybody knows his role, and he's going into
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
It's so beautiful.
yes,
DOR. Yeah, we call
yes.
it DOR.
Yeah, he's amazing. Well,
Namitaji, just
Ji,
answer to your two questions. One was how did people know that whether he's speaking in English or in Hindi? So Erich was with Baba's, right hand man, and he used to analyze and interpret and speak out whatever. Baba used to gesture or put on the board. And as you rightly said, this is a beautiful organization chart, and with all duties given to everybody, specific duties to specific persons. So it's as you said, it's a good example of leadership and organization. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. When somebody
Okay,
asks,
so
okay, sorry, okay,
yeah, yeah.
continue.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
When somebody asked what was to be done about presents that might be offered to Baba in cash or kind in the course of fairy life, Baba said, the whole collection, if any, will be placed at the disposal of the local committee for the people at large. Wow. Although Baba said that he would fully explain the fairy life with all its implications, when all the 300 or so invitees had finished arriving by the 7th, he remarked, I have to set myself afire, and since I am everywhere, all will be in that fire of mine. There is no doubt about it now, and the whole world will have to burn with me. I am not asking you all with me too.
Taking, taking me all with you.
I'm not taking you all with me to attend the programs, but to be by my side in this more critical period of my spiritual life. It goes without saying that all who go with me should now only think about me and the duties entrusted to them. After
I can
these
pause you
assignments,
for a minute. I
sure.
can pause you for a minute. I shared two videos on the new life on the group. Right? So if you listen to those, it actually tells you some of what Baba is trying to do here. It's very complex, and probably we will never comprehend what he was trying to do in these phases within the new life. What is fairy phase? What? Why was he doing this? And as God, why was he referring to the absolute? And what spiritual practice that God needs to do? Right. So these are very interesting or intriguing questions that he has left for all of us. But they are not important. I mean, it's just amazing to see this experiential, first-hand experiential account that we are going through to give you a glimpse of how life was at that time. But when you get the time, please listen to those two. See those two video links where there's a lot of research and some I shouldn't say speculation, some food for thought on what could be the intent behind these life phases of Baba. Yeah.
Jai Baba. After these assignments, Baba asked Sidhu to sing. The first song he sang was about Lord Krishna, in which a gopi complained to Krishna as follows: O beloved, why have you glanced at me from the corner of your eye? It has changed the entire course of my life. For now, I cannot think of anyone except you. Baba enjoyed Sidhu's song and perhaps still more his hand gestures and facial expressions. A record player and some recordings of ghazals were brought from Meherazad. At Baba's suggestion, ghazals in Urdu were played, which expressed the lover's complaints and loving challenges to the beloved. Baba did not explain any of these lines, but most of the time looked solemn. After a while, Baba stopped having the records played and once more appeared to be in a communicative mood. He explained the characteristics of the four spiritual paths: dhyan, bhakti, yoga, and karma. He also pointed out the difficulties that one encounters as one traverses any of these paths. At the close at the close of the discourse, he stated that each of these paths culminates in fana, which means passing away in the absolute vacuum, nirvana. It is a state where apparently God is not and consciousness is. Baba then commended.
No, no, there's a reference there.
Okay. In Sufi terms, fana means passing away in. Fana has two stages. The first stage of fana is the conscious experience of the absolute vacuum state. And the second stage of fana or fana fila is the conscious experience of the I am God state. God speaks, page 134.
Anaphyla is basically also abiding in, right? So passing away in, and then in that state you're abiding, and that's Anaphyla.
Actually, absolute desolation, you dissolve.
Yeah, there's nothing other than consciousness.
Yeah. Baba then committed to the state of final fana. He continued, the real headache lies in that you have become what you really are. And therefore, in order to gain God, you must first lose Him. In real fana, divine vacuum, likes and dislikes are not there. Wants are not there. Desires are not there. You are not there. Even God is not there. However, the moment this fana takes place, God comes into his full glory of the everlasting baka abiding. Even when God is lost and found, the life of God is not there. The life of God is led by fully regaining creation consciousness while simultaneously retaining God consciousness. Baba further explained, in some cases, before the divine vacuum is filled up, the link with the body is cut off, and these souls drop their bodies. In a very few cases, the bodies are retained, but the link of the world, creation, is snapped. These are known as the perfect majubs, the God merged souls. They are not conscious of this world. They do not know what they eat or drink. And then there are those who link with the world is firmly established. Among them, those who use their infinite power, knowledge, and bliss for the emancipation of all souls live the life of God. They are known as perfect masters, sadgurus, or kutubs. It was almost evening, and Baba left for Meherazad. From sunrise to sundown, for me, it was a complete Baba day. The heart was full with joy to its brim, but a corner of my mind was a little disturbed, for Baba had not chosen me to participate in the repetition of God's names. How funny! I had failed to realize that to stay at Mehrabad, a place incredibly rich with his presence, was itself a bountiful blessing. Jai Baba, so beautiful.
Absolutely.
We are so blessed to
So
be
we
able
can
to,
also rotate.
yeah, just, yeah, before we do that, from a corner of our eye, he is teaching us all that,
Yes.
such beautiful, as if we were there. It's so nice. I really look forward to Saturday. Jai Baba, thank you for allowing me to read.
Thank you so much for reading. Anybody else wants to read? I will read from it, and then please let me know if anybody is comfortable. Yeah. Tar Meher Baba Ki Jai. So this is the next chapter. The fiery life gets more warm, more fiery. Warming up of the fiery life. 1952, part 6. Baba becomes a devotee. November mornings at Mehrabad are cool and pleasant, and a stay with Baba at Mehrabad or Mehrazad meant rising early. Most of us got up by 8 a.m. and finished my morning activities, including a simple breakfast of a chapati, with hot cups of tea by 6 o'clock. Then some of us paced back and forth on the veranda of Mehrabad Hall so as not to miss our first glimpse of beloved Baba. Sometimes when he arrived, I would find myself at the back of the gathering. Oh, when that although Baba did not look directly at me, gentle wave of his presence touched my heart. Presence that now prevails throughout the premises of Mehrabad and Mehrazad. On the morning of November 2nd, Baba arrived in Adi's car and we followed him into the hall. This day, he wanted to bow to all those whom he had asked the day before to repeat the different names of God for a certain period each day until the 14th, as well as those who were to read from the holy books. Baba opened the meeting by stating, "From today until the 15th, I will be a devotee." During the November meetings, Baba also conveyed on other occasions that he had become a devotee, perhaps in the same way that he had become an ordinary man, a seeker during the new life. And true to this role, Baba not only had different ceremonies from different religions performed during the gatherings at Mehrabad, but he also took part in them just as a devotee of that religion would have. Before I continue the narration of the day-to-day events at Mehrabad, I would like to quote a most appropriate remark Nariman made a few days later about Baba's becoming a devotee. Very lovingly, he said, "Baba, you as a devotee is an issue between you and God. That is, God personal, God impersonal. But for us, the mandali, you are only, as always, the master of masters." Read that line again. "Baba, you as a devotee is an issue between you and God. That is God personal and God impersonal. But for us, the mandali, you are only, as always, the master of masters." To be frank, the mandali have never claimed to understand the entire meaning of the different phrases that Baba occasionally used in different phases of his work. Without analyzing his words, they have totally accepted him as their beloved master forever. This is their steadfast, unflinching conviction. Hope Nariman's remark will help us to understand the background and activities that Baba began on November 2nd. 8 a.m., Daulat Singh arrived. Baba was very pleased to see him, but everyone else was surprised. For just the day before, a telegram had been read out saying that he wouldn't be able to come. A gesture. "I'm happy you have arrived in time. You wrote that you could not be here. Then how did you manage to come?" After a little pause, Baba added, "I drew you here." To digress a little, Baba's statement about Daulat Singh brings to my mind his first meeting with Baba, which he shared with me in personal conversations prior to Baba's new life phase. Baba's irresistible pull of love. In the early 1940s, Daulat Singh met one of Baba's followers, Avanand, in Srinagar, Kashmir. Bhavanand showed Daulat Singh a picture of Baba, and he immediately recognized him as the same one he had seen in a vivid dream. Shedding tears of love, he embraced Bhavanand. On being told the picture was of Meher Baba, he immediately wanted to offer himself at the feet of the beloved master. When Bhavanand expressed his inability to tell him the master's whereabouts, for at that time Baba was in seclusion, and even his close followers did not know his program. Despite this situation, Daulat Singh remained determined to try to meet Baba, whom he deeply felt to be Guru Nanak come again. The one clue he had was the address of Adi K. Irani, which appeared on the pamphlet Bhavanand had given him. Daulat Singh planned to write to Baba, care of Adi, and he did. However, he received no reply to his letter. He wrote Baba again, but this letter also met with the same lack of response. Finally, he decided to send a registered letter to Baba to be sure that his communications had definitely reached him. He got back the acknowledgement card, but he did not receive a reply. On the acknowledgement card, he noticed the postal stamp of Dehradun, UP. So it was clear that Baba's headquarters were at Dehradun. Although Dehradun was about 700 miles from his residence in Srinagar, Daulat Singh felt that he should not waste any time in trying to meet the master. He hurried off to Dehradun, even though the only evidence he had that Baba was there was a postmark. Arriving in Dehradun, he checked all the hotels and contacted all the house agents, but he could not come up with any clues as to Baba's whereabouts. At last, in desperation, he asked a Tonga driver who was then passing along the street if he knew any saintly person from Bombay side who was now residing in Dehradun. The Tonga driver just shook his head and went on his way. But after a minute or two, he suddenly turned his Tonga around and approaching Daulat Singh said that on the previous day he had taken an exceptionally impressive businessman from Bombay to a certain house. He then offered to take Daulat Singh there if he so desired. Daulat Singh felt that it was the only chance he had of picking up Baba's trail. At the end of the Tonga ride, Daulat Singh found that his pursuit had been rewarded, for he learned that it was the very house where Baba was staying with his mandali. Daulat Singh's joy knew no bounds. He expressed his earnest desire to see the master. He was told point blank that Baba was in seclusion and wasn't seeing anyone. Having found Baba after so long a search, Daulat Singh felt he couldn't leave without having at least a glimpse of Baba. So he again repeated his wish to see him. One of the Mandali came forth and asked Daulat Singh who he was, what he did, and why he had come. Daulat Singh explained that he had retired from the Indian military, that he had served as a medical doctor, and that he had later started his own clinic at Srinagar. He also briefly explained why and how he had come to Dehradun. To this, the Mandali member replied, "You have been in the military, so you must know what discipline and obeying orders means. Higher than the discipline of military service is the discipline expected of us by our master. So if you want to please him, just accept the fact that Baba is in seclusion and does not want to see anyone." This explanation made sense to Daulat Singh, but it took away any hope he had of having Baba's darshan. And in a dejected mood, he returned to his hotel with a heavy heart. To console himself, he opened his suitcase, which contained Baba's picture. He took it out and with tearful eyes prayed before it with all his heart. Baba, in fact, I did not know you, not even by name. You yourself awoke me from my sleep and brought me to your door in your own mysterious ways. Now you are sending me away. I can understand that you are in seclusion, but couldn't you make an exception and allow me to have your darshan for just 1 minute? This is my request, but let your will be done. I'm not sure what that means. The last phrase. Daulat Singh was sobbing and weeping while praying. He was overcome by the situation of having come so close to meeting his dear master, only to be denied even a passing glimpse of him. He put Baba's photo back in his suitcase, closed it, and felt that he must respect Baba's wish. He decided that there was no point in staying any longer in Dehradun. But before returning to Srinagar, he decided to purchase some presents for his children. As he was walking through the market, someone came up to him and asked, "Are you by chance Dr. Daulat Singh?" "Yes," he replied. The man continued, "Your physical features were described to me by my companions, and then Meher Baba instructed me to try and find you. Meher Baba has been in seclusion for a very long time and has stopped giving darshan to anyone. But it seems that he's treating your visit as a special case. He has made an exception and he will allow you to see him for a moment." You are really very fortunate. Daulat Singh was overcome with joy. Baba had answered his wholehearted prayer. He was quickly taken to Baba's residence and was soon ushered into Baba's presence. He could not utter a single word as a flood of tears streamed from his eyes. All he had to convey and listen to was done in silence. Baba instructed Daulat Singh to go back to Srinagar. Irresistible is the pull of the God man's love. Through incredible ways, Baba helps his lovers to leap over the barriers that stand between them and him. He leads them to him, the real beloved, right time. From the masses of humanity, he draws his lovers to him when their longing reaches its height. Once Baba asked a boy in his teens to recite a couplet. The Urdu lines he quoted aptly describes this aspect of the avatar's working. लग बैठे थे फिर भी नजर साकी की पड़ी उन पर है तशनगी कामिल तो पैमाने भी आएंगे. These Urdu lines, when freely translated into English, mean I was sitting all alone in a corner away from the gathering. But Saki's glances revealed to me his all knowingness. And I felt that if I were really thirsty, the cup of wine would come right into my hand. Beautiful, but beautiful episode. And I think all the Kashmiri attendees this morning will remember Daulat Singh in the photograph, and all of us have seen the photograph. I think of Daulat Singh in that's a photograph in Kashmir, correct? Anybody can confirm that?
Yeah.
With,
And it
yeah, yeah.
also has our grandfather, great
Her,
grandfather
yes,
inside the
yes.
picture.
In there. Yes, yes. That's what I meant. That's the picture I'm talking about. So, apart from that, is this Daulat Singh the father of or related to Waryam Singh in Delhi? Anybody that knows Waryam Singh?
His son. Don't know.
His son. Yeah, yeah, correct. Okay. So, because I met him a couple of times and a very, very
Yeah.
nice person. Yeah, very, very nice person.
Just published
Amazing.
a book also, that Panj
Yes,
Pyare
yes,
has been
yes,
published by
Punch
him.
Pyare. Correct.
Jai
So,
Baba,
yeah.
it also shows how Baba's works in his magnetism. Daulat Singh could not imagine that he would meet Baba, and there was a surprise meeting with Baba. So, I mean, it's Baba's world and magnetism. Jai Baba.
No, but look at the context, right? This man
Yeah.
hears, first gets a dream. Second, he sees the photograph in someone's hand in Kashmir near his house. And I mean, his friend shows him. And then on that thought, he just drops everything and heads to the address. First, before that, he sends three attempts by post. Okay. And he does not give up. Then he hits the road and reaches Dehradun with nothing to have as a trail, and he is rewarded. So the divine desperation that Baba talks about is the ingredient that is important for the grace to unfold. So even when he arrived, and even when he knocked on the door the first day, I'm sure Baba knew that Daulat Singh was at the door, but he did not grant him the darshan immediately, right? I'm not saying that he's not compassionate, but then it's magical how this whole thing plays out and how the the,
Yeah.
the lover and the beloved
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
to
Jai,
have that
yeah,
Right. Right.
intensity.
Jai Baba.
It's like you pour the dosa only when the temperature is right. Right.
Perfect, yeah.
It's like that. The
Because
Daulat
little
Singh story
earlier,
is very amazing. That he was returned
yes,
back from the New Life Companion team from Satara. He was returned back because he was crying for his daughter's marriage, and then Baba asked him to beg in his own locality, which he did. And we should imagine him being a doctor from a military service, and he was made to do this. So, and his surrenderance to him. So it's a long story, and that Panch Pyare is included.
It is there. Yeah. Good. Now you were saying something as well.
No,
Okay.
and the whole thing was created by Baba.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, he is the writer, producer, director of this whole thing, and he makes it so interesting. It's like movie, like you are in suspense. Abhi kya hoga? And
Next,
that's
kya hoga?
also his divine humor. He plays this googly with you, and then you say, "Ah, okay, now it was because I loved him so much, and then I got rewarded." It's not that he stirs that chord within you, and when you reach that point, and then he says, "Okay, come, now you can have me." It's so beautiful. I think most of us experience these kind of things
Yes.
in context with Baba. Jai Baba.
Yes. I like the
Baba,
analogy also. Sanjay's analogy of the tawa. The temperature has to be perfect. You either get a burnt or a unready dosa, right? So perfect temperature. Yes. Yes, Ashokji.
yes. Yeah, Baba is the divine script writer. He writes every.
Yes. Yes.
You know.
Okay. Get.
I heard some reference to Panch Pyare. What is that?
I think it's the five people from Punjab that Baba named as the Panch Pyare, the five lovers from Punjab. All of them Sardarjis. Is that correct? Can somebody confirm that? And that's the name of, I think, also the book that Daulat Singh published.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out if there's a book or something.
Oh, okay. So it's also the 5, 6 who were initiated into the Khalsa by Guru Gobind Singh. So it's a
Yeah,
more Sikh reference, but
yeah, that I
from a
know.
Meher
It was
Baba perspective, I think
in Baba's context, there must be something.
yeah, that it's the five favorite Sikh lovers of Meher Baba. There is a book by that effect. I'm just bringing it up. That's the book. This is a different book. This is not the Variam Singh. It's more like a booklet. Variam Singh's book.
Mhm.
This is another book, Panch Pyare, the five favorite Sikh lovers of Meher Baba. The author is Balakrishna Meher. Is there any additional information? No. Okay. So there's. I hope that does something to answer your question. Not enough, but that's what I could
Okay,
write.
I tried to check. It's Pritam Singh Meher, Veerinder Singh, Dr. Daulat Singh, Professor Naranjan Singh, and Joginder Singh. I don't know much about the rest. I've heard the names, couple of names, but not sure.
I
I think
think Daulat Singh is the father of Variam Singh, and then the other four are other
Yeah, yeah.
names, yeah, other
The
four
professor
Sikh
was in
lovers.
Delhi College. College, I think he was teaching in a college, and Baba had given a discourse. He had went to that college and given address to the students. That's a story in Delhi. So I think he was a professor there.
who is that? Varian Singh or
You
Niranjan
said
Singh?
about a professor, right?
Yeah,
Out
Professor
of the five.
Niranjan Singh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Niranjan Singh.
right.
Oh, Niranjan Singh. Okay. Kripal Singh
Variam
was
is
also
next
there.
generation,
One
Sunil.
called Kripal. Kripal? No?
Sorry, once again.
Kripal
Can you
Singh?
read the names
Kripal?
again? Yeah.
Pritam Singh, Veerinder Singh, Dr. Daulat Singh, Professor Niranjan Singh, and Joginder Singh.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe
You have to read the
Kirpal
book.
is next
You have
generation.
to read
Yeah.
the book. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Let's continue. Get thee behind me, Satan. To resume the narration of the morning of November 2nd, Baba asked Daulat Singh to be with him until November 28th. He also ordered him to read the Guru Granth Sahib from 1 to 2 p.m. I think it's just the holy book of the Sikhs. That's what Guru Granth Sahib is for the next 3 days. Then Baba recalled an incident that had happened during a meeting preceding the new life. At that time, he had suddenly given Daulat Singh a cigarette and told him to smoke it. Cigarette smoking is anathema to a Sikh. Daulat Singh did not hesitate for a moment and began to puff away. So, when did this happen? Then Baba recalled an incident that had happened during a meeting preceding the new life. I'm confused about the sequence of things here, but again, he's making the point about obedience, where Daulat Singh did not hesitate for a moment and began to puff away. Continuing, Baba looked pleased. This was, however, the beginning and the end of Daulat Singh's smoking. The incident indicates Daulat Singh's conviction of Baba's divinity and the intimacy of Baba's relationship with Daulat Singh. Baba continued, indeed, God's work is unfathomable. He has brought here those with whom connections. Leader and Vibhuti have also come after many years, and those who have come are fortunate. Addressing the Japwalas, Jap is literal translation, repetition of a name of God. Japwalas, those who perform Jap. Addressing it can be Jap also, Jap, whatever. Addressing the Japwalas, Baba stated, now I will bow down to you. From today until the 14th, I will be repeating God's names through you. As I place my forehead on your feet, think of God, who is the only reality and who is ever present within us all. Also remember the name you are asked to repeat. Baba then sat on a carpet with his palms placed at his side, ready to bow down as the Japwalas passed by. 9 a.m., he had finished the touching of the feet of the 17 men. Those who were to read the holy books had also joined this line, and Baba asked them to read on his behalf. When this was all over, Baba concluded by saying, repeat the name as if your very life depends on it. If you do this wholeheartedly, God may liberate you. Maya creates obstacles in God's work, so some may get sick. But be cheerful, be careful. Baba left the hall by 11 o'clock to have his lunch. Although it is difficult to express in words my happiness at being with Baba after a year and a half, thought briefly passed through my mind that was silly. Baba has assigned different duties to different people. I have not been asked to do anything. Has he discarded me as worthless? It wasn't long after that someone brought me a message from Baba. He wanted to see me in his cabin. Hurriedly went and saw Vibhuti standing near Baba. Baba asked Vibhuti to say aloud, Om Parabrahma Paramatma 5,000 times day near the Dhruni, which is by the roadside. He then turned towards me and instructed me to repeat the following one-line prayer 1,400 times a day. O God, Baba asks you to give him strength in his fiery life. He did not mention any specific place or time for doing this. Both of us were to begin our duties the next day and to continue until November 12th. Physically, I was the frailest among all of those who had gathered, yet Baba had chosen me to invoke God's strength for his fiery life. A Baba joke embedded in his compassion. In the afternoon, Baba entered the hall and gracefully took his seat on the gaddi. All of us, with our eyes fixed on his person, quietly sat before him. He very lovingly looked at us and conveyed, although I am the formless one, assigned as the avatar to assume a human form again and again. So I am here. But I wish for you to become free from the wheel of birth and deaths, being born again and again, growing, maturing, marrying, enjoying, procreating, decaying, and dying. He continued, God is just as soft as he is hard, as compassionate as he is harsh. Just remember that when you call on him or invoke him, if he is touched even once, the impossible then becomes possible and you become free. This is not an easy thing. However, during the forthcoming days, try to repeat God's name wholeheartedly. Then I and God will see to it. So again, subtleties here, right? So then I and God will see to it. So we have to, we will never understand what is happening in this phase in Baba's life. If you see, yeah, so third person God he refers to here, and Ward was referring in that talk that I was earlier alluding to, that he when he prayed during the new life, he was always praying to God absolute. And that is the most frequently used phrase. So another. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. Referring to the susceptibility of getting angry, Baba observed, these days I try not to get angry or excited. Whenever I am about to, I remember the words of Christ and say in silence, get thee behind me, Satan. So, whenever you find that thoughts of lust, greed, jealousy, anger, money matters, or family matters possess your heart, say silently, as did Jesus, get thee behind me, Satan, and be at peace. Could Baba, the one who's beyond mind, really have trouble controlling his moods? My supposition is that this was a lesson for us all, a sort of assurance that if we do as he instructs, he will help drive away the Satan. So let us try. But just to understand Baba's instruction is not to comprehend it fully. The simpler the spiritual truth, harder it is to live up to. However, if one's effort is sincere and one's yearning wholehearted, the divine response becomes incredibly clear and the meaning of Baba's words blossoms in one's heart. The tricks of Satan are foiled. So, what does this phrase mean? What does this phrase, get behind me, Satan, mean? What is the exact phrase? Get thee behind me, Satan. So, when are you supposed to say that, or when are you supposed to, what does it exactly mean? Anybody? Catholic schoolers can start. Ashokji.
Jai Baba.
Yeah.
When you get angry and
Mhm.
you take that space as evil set, and you in your heart say, go get away, you evil thing who's making me angry or lustful or greedy or whatever, you get away. You just shoo it away. You talk to it, and you deal with it not as part of your whole. You treat it as an external
Something else.
intrusion. Yeah, and then you can handle it better. Because if you think you are anger, which means you can't do much about it. But if you think that there's something evil which is making me angry, you can get it to go away. So that way, I think perhaps it worked. Yeah, Baba.
Interesting. Thank you for
Nice,
helping. Yeah.
very nice explanation. Most practical way we can try to handle them is the best way. They must be.
Yes. Jai Baba. Jai Baba. Okay. Anybody else wants to read?
I can read if someone if no one.
Yeah, sure. You can read, and then there's one more person also who can read if there is time. Yeah, we can split if there is anybody. Otherwise, you can read all of it.
Maybe your video is on. I think it is just put turned down or something. Put it off.
Yeah, yeah.
Baba in a reminiscent mood. While we were seated around Baba, he had the list read out to him of the people who were to accompany him for different periods until the end of April. The following eight were to remain with Baba from November 1st until the end of April. Terach, Pendu, Gustaji, Vishnu, Savak Kotwal, Kaikobat, Ali Akbar, Aloba in bracket, and Baidul. Another 18 people were to be with him for varying lengths of time during the fairy-free life. Baba listened very attentively as the name of each was read out. When Yashwantrau's name was cited, Baba added, Yashwantrao must come with me. Maharaj had deputed him to serve me pan during the last 6 months when I was at Sakuri with Maharaj in 1921. Yashwantrao did his job perfectly, which is another reason why Maharaj has devolved on me his spiritual responsibility of looking after him and also of Gustaji who had stayed with Maharaj for some years. Baba now turned to Gustaji and asked him to tell those present what Maharaj had told him about Baba in the early 20s. Gustaji related Gustaji related that Maharaj once said the following to him in the presence of a small group. I have made Mirwan perfect. He is the perfect master of this age. Now you have to leave me and stick to him. I have given my charge to him. He is the holder of my key. Follow him sincerely, faithfully, and wholeheartedly. Baba added, however, at present, in this particular phase of my work, I am bent upon doing or dying. If my body remains until the end of April, it is well and good. I am 99% sure that my body will not fail, and in that case, I will surely consider Gustaji's case. Indeed, his longing, love, and patience are beyond measure. Then, Baba told everyone some of the hardships Gustaji had borne, such as the time he had subsisted only on water for 6 months, or how in the early 1920s he had been ordered by Baba to sit up all night with Baba Jan, attending to her every want. He used to return at dawn to Baba's toddy shop, stopping on the way to buy some spinach for 1 paise that he simply boiled and ate without even adding salt. This was his entire diet, and he would then work all day in the toddy shop until it was time for him to go to Baba Jan. So for 3 years, in addition to subsisting on such a major diet, Gustaji had practically no sleep. Baba then began to express his appreciation of Kaikobad's love and faith in him. Either Kaikobad had told Baba that once he had had a jhalak glimpse of Baba's divinity, and that since that time, whenever he gave anything to Baba, he thought he was giving it to God. Baba explained that in some cases, such a jhalak is enough to make one unaware of body consciousness for a long time. Then he conveyed to the Japwalas from the 6th to 9th, try to be in this hall as soon as you finish your duties so that I may call on you whenever I need you. Baba was in a very cheerful and reminiscent mood. He recalled some stories about Dr. Ghani and Jal Kerawala, both of whom had recently passed away. He stated, Ghani and Chal have won. That is what I feel. The last word that Jal uttered as he breathed his last was Baba. How fortunate. Indeed, such cases are rare. In fact, a month earlier, Baba had issued a special circular about the passing away of Jal Kerawala, in which he expressed his appreciation of him in these words. Jal was going to play an extremely important part in the planning of the peer-free life. Before going to the West, I had asked Jal to be in Mehrabad for 15 days from the 1st of November in order to contribute his vital share in the planning. None except Jal knew about this till I returned from the West. I thus wanted him to be with me at the threshold of the peer-free life. However, God has willed that he will not be physically present in the midst of the selected persons invited at Mehrabad for 15 days in November. Through the incident of Jal's death, Maya has delivered a severe blow to my work. But in the very act of my work becoming more difficult, it has become more forceful. I am more determined than ever to plunge into the fairy free life which calling me. There's some reference number 64. Life Circular number 7, issued in October 10, 1952. Dr. Ghani and Jal Kerawala were very dear to Baba, and their absence during the November meetings was conspicuously felt by all. Baba then went on to praise Baba Das for the work he had done for him, especially in Hamirpur, UP. In his humorous way, Baba mentioned that Baba Das was remarkable in that he had very little intelligence and no tact. But he also added that to have such a nature required good fortune. He went on to point out that Baba Das' conversation was so filled with non sequiturs that it was mostly irrelevant. No matter what he started to talk about, he would soon be giving a lengthy explanation of something else, completely having forgotten the point he had originally wanted to make. Baba then turned to Babadas and told him that he should not be upset if others criticized him. Looking at the gathering, Baba concluded, yeah, non
So
sequiturus,
basically,
sequiturus.
he was not in sequence. Conclusion or statement that does not logically follow from the previous argument or statement. So that's what he was. Baba Das was. Yeah.
Yeah. Looking at the gathering, Baba concluded, my work is strengthened through opposition and grows as people oppose those who work for me. So let the balance between your mind and heart be as firm as a rock that remains unmoved among storms and high tides. Remember this well and don't feel agitated or distressed. Let others say whatever they think of me and my work, but be steadfast in your love for me. Don't fear, don't worry. The final snapping. Baba was in good mood, and with his humorous remarks, he teased some of his close mandali. Then he wished to listen to some of his favorite ghazals, which were played on the record player. Baba's mood changed suddenly, and he listened very attentively to all the songs. Perhaps in his own way, he was responding to the agonies of his lovers, which were voiced indirectly to him through the meaningful lines of these ghazals. On such occasions, the atmosphere and hush around Baba would be so complete that each would be aware of his own breathing and could hear the ticking of the clock. No one would dare to disturb Baba's mood. After half an hour or so, the playing of the records was stopped and Baba was again in communicative mood. He began to narrate incidents from the lines of the perfect ones with special reference to stories of bestowing the grace of realization. One such account was of Duniwale Dada, a perfect master who lived in a remote area in Khandwa in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Thousands flocked to him for his darshan and blessings. Once one person approached him without any intention of deriving spiritual benefit. Dada, however, knowing fully well that the person was completely prepared internally for the final touch, picked up a stick from the dhuni that was kept burning continuously near his seat and struck him so hard that the person fell to the ground unconscious. All who were standing nearby ran away, fearful that Dada would attack them next. For 3 days, the man lay unconscious near the dhuni. On the fourth day, when he recovered consciousness, it was a consciousness of self realization. Within a few days, however, he dropped his body. Baba then cited another instance, this time of Maulana Sahib of Bombay, a perfect one who read the Quran most of the day. Hundreds of Muslims, in bracket, for he was a Muslim, approached him for spiritual guidance. Once a Hindu doctor who had no spiritual interest happened to go to him. To everyone's surprise, Maulana Sahib asked the doctor to sit by the side of a wall in the room in which he himself was living. The doctor obeyed the order implicitly and did not leave the place for nearly 3 years. By the end of this period, he received the experience of God realization. However, within a short period of few days, he too dropped his body. Perhaps, perhaps I should interject here a note about the dropping of the gross body that follows God realization. Baba had mentioned at another time, just before merging with the truth comes the final snapping of all links and connections with body, mind, universe, and energy. The snapping of these so long vital connections has no parallel example in the gross creation. Baba has also pointed out that after realization, one usually drops one's body within 3 or 4 days. During my visits to Mehrabad in the late 1940s, Dr. Ghani once tried to explain this to me. On such visits, after Baba had left for the evening, I used to enjoy seeking Dr. Ghani out and he would tell me stories from his days with Baba as well as expound spiritual truths in a very lively manner. With reference to the point mentioned above, Dr. Ghani told me that I should think of a rifle being fired. When the rifle is when the rifle is fired, there is a recoil. The more powerful the rifle, the more powerful the recoil. So also in the case of a person who is in the state of final fana, preceding realization, the recoil from the final snapping of all links with the body, mind, etc. is so strong that the body usually cannot survive the shock and is dropped. Inscrutable are the ways of the Sadgurus. Baba explained that some bestow realization to those in whom they notice. 100% of spiritual preparedness, some masters prepare their disciples themselves before they confer the final experience of realization. However, in most cases, the spiritual preparation of the individuals is a matter of past connections with their respective master. During the day's conversation, while relating the life stories of the master, Baba casually stated, "Whatever I say today is only what I guess. For now, I am in the state of a devotee. Being perfection itself, the avatar can express himself perfect through any role. Love, lover, and beloved are one of the avatar, a perfect devotee and a perfect master at one and the same time. God in the beyond state. It was the morning of November 3rd. Baba, radiant and lively as ever, was in the hall. He inquired after everyone's health. Specifically, Baba asked if anyone was suffering from a cold or a cough. Some confessed that they were. Being in a teasing mood, he announced with a smile that Nilu was feeling extremely fine and all who are coughing could not sit close to him. But near Nilu, where they were free to sneeze aloud. Then Baba asked, "Who is worrying?" No one raised his hand. Baba said, "I am very happy to see that no one is worrying. Your faces like those of bokas." Bokas is a bracket large male cats. In the vernacular, this means to look fit and hearty. Baba then
Is
pointed
that
out,
is that Marathi? Focus?
yes, it's a Marathi word. Boka is a Marathi word
Okay.
for the male cat.
Mm.
Ba- Baba then pointed out the difference between worry and care. He told all, of course, you must think seriously and be very careful about two things, remembering God and the duty. I have entrusted to you, so be careful but do not worry. Baba continued, as for me, I had no sleep, and in a way, I was worrying about the programs of the 7th, 8th, ninth, and the first move of the Fairy Free Life on November 14th. But in spite of these worries, I feel especially happy these days. I don't know why. There was a certain period at Sapuri when I was also very happy. And in the new life at the Hyderabad meeting, June 1951, I experienced immense happiness, although it was of a different nature. When I was in Bombay, some days after my contact with Baba Jan, I was experiencing the state of infinite suffering. I used to lie on the bench in Victoria Garden for 12 to 14 hours. During those days, I had no sleep at all. I felt as if some electric motor had been set working within me 24 hours a day, and the impressions of all the words were operating in me. It was the most miserable and the most happy state. It was an individual experience, an individual happiness, and an individual suffering. Nowadays, the happiness that I derive is also personal and individual. However, Baba did not explain the special nature of his happiness. Baba was in cheerful mood, and some incidents from his new life were related by those who were with him in that incredible phase. Later, to the Japwalas, Baba conveyed, I have bowed down to God through you. So you must do the jap and the reading of the holy book on my behalf with all your heart. And because you love me, you must help me 100%. Don't worry about anything. Have no mental strain. You have nothing to do with the result. You are not doing this for yourself, but as I want to do it through you. Try your best so that I feel and God sees that I have worshipped Him with all my heart. Then Baba asked Padri to bring in a printed colored chart in which the 10 states of God, reference number 65, were illustrated. Uh, Okay, 65 reference. This chart with the detailed explanation of the 10 state of God was later incorporated in God Speaks by Meher Baba, first published in 1955. Uh, I think down, yeah. With his finger, he pointed at the two semicircles at the top and gestured. Here in this chart, the first state is named the beyond state and the second beyond state of God. The beyond state of God is referred to be with Vedantist as Parabrahma by the Sufis as Varaulvara. Okay, this beyond state is within everyone. But even if you think deep and deeper, it is impossible to comprehend that state. Being in the state of devotee, I am invoking this beyond state of God. Before continuing the discourse, Baba bowed down to Vibhuti and Bal and asked Vibhuti to go near the Dhuni and repeat Om Parabrahma Paramatma. As Baba got to his seat, he remarked in Gujarati, existence is a God, non existence is also God. Then what is left out? And if at all anything could be left out, that too is God. It is a fact. Perhaps this is what Baba meant by God in the beyond state. Beyond words and beyond silence, even that of the perfect ones. Baba asked Daulat Singh to repeat the prayer by Guru Nanak. Tum Thakur, tum pe ardas. These were Baba's favorite lines of Nanak. Then Baba asked all the Japwalas to repeat aloud, one by one, the name of God, just as they had been repenting it in the Chopri, and added, take God's names very sincerely and wholeheartedly. He may hear someone and be touched. Not too long after this, the meeting broke up for lunch. Just as we were about to finish lunch, Baba on his own came into the hall from his cabin and sent for everyone to listen to a special clarification on the 10 states of God. In no time, we found ourselves around the gadi on which Baba was resting with Gadi. It's not Gadi, Gadi. Around the Gadi on which Baba was resting with his legs stretched out. People stood on either side of Baba's seat in an informal way, while others craned their necks to see what Baba was conveying.
Okay, quick
Ba-
question on this word Gadi. So the in the tin shed there is something, and I've always struggled how to pronounce that when I encounter that word.
Gadi.
So is it Gaddi or Gadi or Gadi? So is it Marathi?
It's a Marathi word Gadi. In
Gadi.
Hindi, it's a
Okay.
Gaddi. In Gaddi, but
Ah,
if
that's
it
what
is just
Gadi.
it's not double D, so it's a Gadi. Marathi word.
No, no, they write always GADI. In all the books,
Hmm.
it's referred to as GADI. So
Yeah.
I was always wondering. But it means the same as Gandhi, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Cushioned seating, sofa, whatever, right?
Yeah. It's like a bed. Means like just the.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Thank
Baba
you.
demonstrates God
Hello.
speaks. Yeah.
Can anyone explain what is the Nanak's?
I was actually thinking why that didn't come till now. Existence is God, non-existence is God. Yes. I don't know. So that's the line that came here, previous page. Where was that? I was wondering. I had that doubt too, Mama, so I don't know. Where is that line? Previous page. Not so far.
No, it was not
Just,
that last only. It was just
huh?
one page up or somewhere. One page up only. I think.
Yeah. Paratvar Parabrahm, this beyond the beyond. Okay, so the existence is God, non-existence is also God. And what is left out? So I understand this generally, but what is non-existence being God? I don't know. Very difficult. Anybody?
In space, out of this universe, maybe. There's
It's
no
just
medium. When there's no medium at all.
medium. Okay. But I don't think we have come across something like this before in Baba's words, where non existence is also God. But the general understanding is it includes infinity and beyond infinity. It includes all of creation and non-creation as well. So, in that sense, I understand it. But existence, I thought, was broader than everything. But this is something to think about. Anybody wants to comment?
Uh, Here, when we say existence is God, so there is a possibility that we think there is something else also beyond existence or before existence or things like that. So that is non-existence is also God. So if you have that idea or iota of duality is with you, then there are two things. And that second thing is also God. And try to interpret like that. So there is only one thing. But when we pronounce that one thing, we may give a chance for identifying it as something different from what is already known or things like that. So that duality should not crop into us. And if by chance it crops into us, the second thing is also God. That is what Baba is clarifying. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. I think that's fine. I think that's a good explanation. Thank you. Vijayji, I think your camera is on by mistake, inadvertently.
My camera. Okay. No.
No, no, Vijayji's camera.
Jai.
Sanjayji pointed it out quite a bit. Well, yeah. Okay. I think we can
Below the
stop
same
here.
paragraph,
Yeah.
below the same paragraph, you had that Nanak's
Yeah,
Tum
yeah.
Thakur.
Tum Thakur, tum pyar das.
But there is no Tikwala who can explain that.
Yeah.
So, Jay Baba, mathematically, it could also mean 0 and 1. That is nothing and everything is God.
Yeah, mathematically, it's the infinity, right? So, uh, yeah, but non-existence is something to think about. But like
The,
Bamaji said, if you introduce duality into the idea, then immediately Baba is correcting that the other aspect, the dual aspect of counterpart of what you think of that duality is also God. Okay, so on that note, we will stop here. Any thoughts before we wrap up?
I was traveling, that's why it can't interact clarity.
Much. Okay.
Yeah, Baba,
Okay.
everyone. Sorry, I joined late.
So
Jai
wondering where
Baba.
were you?
I'm in Bangalore, but I have a family visiting early in the morning, so I got stuck from abroad. So I couldn't join. I was planning to join, but missed it.
Okay, stopped recording. Jai Baba.
Baba.
By the way,